welcome to another episode of the GSMC Wrestling Laureate Podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. I'm your favorite wrestling fan here, Eric, always here to bid you guys hope you guys had an amazing Thursday. We are looking forward to some Friday. Well, no, I'm sorry, you guys had an amazing Friday. Sorry, guys, gotta be honest, completely, breaking fourth wall here. I'm sick. I'm pretty sick. I caught the cold recently. But we're going to see if we can get through this. Like, my voice, I don't know if it's going to sound a little hoarse. I might sneeze a couple of times. Maybe you might see some boogers coming down my nose. I'm just kidding. All in love. Definitely we're still going to have a good time. So thank you guys so much for tuning in to the GSMC Wrestling Laureate Podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. I'm your favorite wrestling fan here, Eric Rodriguez, every Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Pacific Time, 11 p.m. Eastern Time. Here to talk about the greatest thing in the world, professional wrestling, all the action inside and outside of the ring. Backstage curtain calls, rumor, and drama. We also talk about superstar and active statuses, injury updates. We talk about, contract extensions, negotiations, and new signings. We talk about promotions from WWE to AEW, to Ring of Honor, to New Japan Professional Wrestling. Basically, if it makes major news in the world of professional wrestling, we talk about it here on this show 1010%. So make sure you guys Superman punch that like and subscribe button to the show so you guys can get some notifications and stay up to date to the newest episodes of the GSMC Wrestling Laureate Podcast. Also, some of the awesome podcasts that we have already on this, on this sports network. All right. We have a great show for you today on tap. Today we're going to talk about some WWE SmackDown. We're going to talk about my TNA and Ring of Honor review. We're also going to jump on into some Becky Lynch news. Becky Lynch has recently, she was on, I think, what was it? Becky Lynch, she was absent in WWE after quite some time. She made where was it? Vulture or something? Vulture Fest in NYA in East Los Angeles, where she addressed the WWE Universe about her future, basically kind of hinting at her WWE return. We're going to talk about that. In our fourth segment, we're going to talk about Shinsuke Nakamura returning to WWE. We're going to talk about possible storylines. We're going to talk about some things that he's had in the past. Some things that we want to ultimately kind of avoid as a WWE creative writer. Something that you don't want to do to kind of have Shinsuke Nakamura kind of wind up in that same spot where he was, he was kind of like not a jobber. I don't want to say a jobber. I don't want to disrespect him like that. I feel like ultimately, like he was, this under the radar superstar. He was, got to the point where he was helping put over young talent. And, he lost all of his credibility. He lost all of his storylines. He lost his character. And it got to the point where people were like, okay, we'll just have someone defeat Shinsuke Nakamura. Shinsuke Nakamura turned into a pumpkin, basically. If you're, if you're into, like, NFL betting, or if you're, watching the NFL, and sometimes, like Sam Darnold, where he turns back into a pumpkin, where he kind of stays recluse, where basically all talent, basically all that flash kind of subsides. So, Shinsuke Nakamura right now, I feel like him coming back to WWE, it has to be big. And our fifth and final segment, we're going to talk about my Friday Wrestling News Roundup. We'll talk about all the latest breaking news that surrounds the world of professional wrestling. I'm going to give you guys my hot takes about it, and we're going to have a good time. All right, so let's go ahead and jump on into it. But before we do any of that, I just want to remind you guys to go ahead and hit up the Super Chat. Obviously, whether if you're going to bring a question or hot take in terms of the world of professional wrestling, here at the GSMC Sports Network, we want to make sure that you guys feel like we are, make sure you guys feel like we are absolutely open for you guys' opinions. We are all ears, 1,010%. Obviously, we want to keep the conversation going, making this party lively, making sure that you guys feel like your voice is part of the mix. So don't be shy, drop your thoughts inside that chat. And if you really want to make sure your comment, question, or concern gets noticed, why not use that Super Chat? Go ahead and click that $ right next to that chat box. Basically guarantees anything you guys put inside that box is going to be featured on the show 1,010%. So, don't be shy and drop your thoughts inside that chat. Support our channel. Obviously, this is a great way to support the GSMC Sports Network. Your Super Chats obviously keeps us, keeps the lights on, so we can keep bringing you guys even more awesome sports content that you guys love so dang much. We are super grateful for each and every one of you guys who joins us here daily on the GSMC Sports Network. Your support makes all the difference. So let's keep the conversation going. Send in those super chats and those super stickers because you guys are super awesome. And together we make sure this podcast is, bigger, better, and stronger than ever. Once again, Super Chat, not your thing. It's all good. Go ahead and hit up the tips and donations link at the GSMCpodcast.net. Tell me what you like. Tell me what you don't like. Just remember to Superman punch the like and subscribe button to the show. Follow the show. Follow the network here at the GSMC Sports Center. We do love a lot of peace, love, and positivity 1,010%. But of course, in talking sports, it's inevitable. Criticisms, some disagreements are going to happen, and it's all good. It's all gravy. It's all good in the neighborhood. We just want you guys to feel open to kind of drop whatever you guys feel like inside the chat. So don't be shy. All right, I gotta be honest with you guys. Just talking about that, I feel like my voice is already so hoarse. So if I keep these segments kind of short, please forgive me 1,010%. All right, so we're gonna talk about some WWE SmackDown. We are live in Salt Lake City in the Delta Center. We're gonna find out. Basically, we have a couple more shows until WWE Survivor Series. Obviously, this WarGames match is still building up. It's still getting to the point where who's going to be this fifth guy for Roman Reigns? People think maybe it could be Brock Lesnar. People think maybe it could be CM Punk. CM Punk, obviously, his anniversary return date to WWE was obviously last year on Survivor Series, and he's a Paul Heyman guy. And when Paul Heyman, started doing this with Roman Reigns, he said the number one thing was that I don't ever want to attack CM Punk. That's kind of like my dude. That's my guy. Obviously, on screen and also backstage, these guys are, very, very, very close. So, will he come back to help Roman Reigns and the original Bloodline? Maybe. But, with Bronson Reed kind of coming into the fray, I think you've kind of already suggested, implemented, kind of cemented that it's going to be Seth Rollins. That's really the only thing that makes sense. I kind of compared it to the AEW Blood and Guts match, where basically Hangman Adam Page joined Matthew Nicholas Jackson, Jack Perry, and Kazuchika Okada, the AEW Continental Champion. Basically because you have a common enemy. He hated Swerve Strickland, and he did not join the match until Swerve Strickland did, and then all of a sudden he was just... And during the match, all he did was fight Swerve. So, that could be possibly what Seth Rollins is going to do. Maybe he finds himself coming in last, and he, during the match, the first person goes out. Okay, Seth Rollins is like, yeah. And then, the second person comes out. Maybe Roman Reigns looks at Seth Rollins, and he's like, all right, go out there and get out there. And he's like, you know what? You're not my boss. You don't run me. I run you. And then, someone like Jimmy or Jay or Sammy goes out. And then when Bronson Reed goes out, that's when Seth Rollins is going to step up. That's when he's going to go out there and fight Bronson Reed. And I think during the match, you're going to have that point in the match where you're going to see Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins kind of look at each other in the eyes, kind of have this, are they going to kill each other? Are these guys going to attack each other? Is this going to be, something bigger than it actually already is? And I'm excited for that. I can't wait to see that. I would love to see these two ultimately go at it in a WrestleMania kind of spectrum, and would be so dang awesome to have this in WrestleMania. Oh my God, Seth Rollins taking on Roman Reigns would be so sick, and I'd be down for it. I can't wait. Bianca Belair takes on Blair Davenport and Chelsea Green in the WWE Women's United States Championship. I have high hopes for Chelsea Green in this match. I have high hopes for Bianca Belair. Blair Davenport, ever since being drafted WWE SmackDown, none of her story, she had her little feud with Naomi, and it was cool. It was interesting. A lot of us, including me, I expected more from Blair. I thought we were going to have more of a storyline established, but, in the end, she kind of attacked her, and then nothing really came out of it, after. The storyline was kind of dropped, ultimately. So then you have Chelsea Green. Chelsea Green is the ultimate antagonist, what I keep saying. Right now, the WWE Women's Champion, Nia Jax, she's unstoppable. So that makes me feel like maybe Tiffany Stratton's going to cash in on her. I'm kind of almost certain she's going to be, she's going to cash in on her. So, it should be pretty interesting to find out what happens tonight in that triple threat match. At this point, I got to be honest, I think it's pointless for Bianca Belair to kind of to win this match. She can. Maybe down the line in the finals, you have her and Jade Cargill going at it. Ultimately, kind of creating a wedge in their tag team, alliance that they have here. which would be very entertaining. You know, I feel like these two girls are going to have a future. They're going to fight against each other for generations of WWE, so it should be interesting to find out what happens tonight. Cody Rhodes head-to-head taking on not Kevin Owens. They're gonna talk. They're gonna talk, and it's gonna end with them beating the hell out of each other, and then you're gonna see former WWE superstar Jason Jordan, former WWE superstar Jamie Noble come out to kind of separate these guys, and that's how it's gonna be. And we are going to have a WWE Championship match taking place at Survivor Series with Kevin Owens taking on the American Nightmare Cody Rhodes. That's really the only angle it could be. This is the only, the only way that this could actually make sense. Cody Rhodes, Kevin Owens had 2 chances. His first chances, he could have damn near beat Cody Rhodes if he did not, kind of side with that babyface, kind of refuse to take advantage of Cody Rhodes being injured. And then in the second match, then you kind of had Cody Rhodes, kind of doing Cody Rhodes things. And then, I don't think, to be honest, I got to be honest, I think I'm mistaking Cody Rhodes' match. No. I think they fought each other twice. I'm not too sure. Not too sure. No, I think it was once. So them going part 2, it'd be awesome. It'd be awesome if Kevin Owens picks up the victory. Kevin Owens right now has not been signed to WWE contract, so maybe this can be a way of kind of buttering him up. If Kevin Owens leaves WWE and winds up in AEW, I feel like he'd be great. 1,010%. But obviously, the success, you want to be featured on television as much as you can. So, sometimes you got to take a pay cut to, have the overall, betterment of, your whole career ahead of you. So, it could be that. All right, we have the LA Knight who was attacked by the returning Shinsuke Nakamura. Potentially, we can have a head-to-head match for the United States Championship taking place at Survivor Series. Also you have Legado del Fantasma, not Chavo Guerrero, oh my God. All these night cool and day cool starting to get to me, guys. Santos Escobar can definitely be a WWE United States champion. Bronson Reed, we're going to find out. We're going to hear from him tonight on, in his point and why he joined the Bloodline, and maybe he finds a way to kind of irk Seth Rollins after he irked him after Monday Night Raw went off the air. Because being brutally honest, the reason why Seth lost was because of Solo Sikoa's interference. So yeah, it should be a pretty awesome episode of SmackDown. I can't wait to watch it. Obviously, I've not checked a single shred of social media, no TikTok, no Facebook, no Instagram for any content or updates. So I'm going in absolutely blind. Can't wait to watch it. All right, guys, so hey, do not go anywhere. We're going to jump on into my Thursday night wrestling review. We're going to talk about Ring of Honor and TNA Impact. So grab your favorite snack, grab your favorite ice cold beverage. You join me here in about 25 seconds. So hey, do not go anywhere.
I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign. I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign.
I wanna be the greatest. Everybody on the fake shit. I look around and feel like everybody is the fakest. I make this every day and I'm impatient, hoping one day I blow up from the basement. Statement, the top is so vacant. I don't hear shit that I think is amazing. Waiting for my day when I'm playing sold out shows for 1,000 faces. Hey, give me that crown, get in my way and to be put down. It ain't your place, all this my town. If I want that shit, then I'll get it right now. I'm losing it, the noose it fits, some losing shit, a stupid myth. You choose to live or choose to dip, you choose to fight or lose your grip and lose a gift.
I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign. I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind?
All right, we're back with the GSMC Wrestling Laureate Podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. I'm your favorite wrestling fan here, Eric Rodriguez, every Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Pacific Time, 11 p.m. Eastern Time. Here to talk about the greatest thing in the world, professional wrestling. We talk about all the action inside and outside the ring, backstage, curtain calls, rumors, and drama. We talked about superstar inactive statuses, injury updates. We talked about contract negotiations, extensions, and new signings. We talk about promotions from WWE to New Japan Professional Wrestling to Stardom to the GCW to the National Wrestling Alliance. If it makes major news in the world of professional wrestling, we talk about it here on this show, 1010%. All right, so going to reflect on what we talked about right quick. We had our WWE SmackDown preview / talk. And now we're going to talk about some Ring of Honor and TNA. But before we do any of that, I just want to remind you guys to go ahead and keep heading up those super chats, whether if you got a burning question or a hot take in terms of the world of professional wrestling, or just something you've been dying to get off your chest here at the GSMC Sports Network. We want to make sure that you guys feel like you're absolutely comfortable. We are all ears, 1010%. This show is all about keeping the conversation lively, making sure that you guys feel like your voice is part of the mix. So don't be shy and drop your thoughts inside that chat. And if you really want to make sure your comment, question, or concern gets noticed on air, why not use that super chat? Click that $sign right next to that chat box. Basically, anything you guys put inside that box is going to be guaranteed to be featured and talked about, maybe even debated about if it's that juicy on the show, 1010%. So go ahead and send in that message and don't be shy. Plus, it's a great way to support the channel here at the GSMC Sports Network. It's a great way to support our channel. You guys sending in those super chats obviously keeps the lights on these all amazing podcasts with all these amazing podcasters who have one goal in mind, to make sure that you guys keep consuming the content that you guys love so damn much. And it's, guess what, absolutely 1010% free. So yeah, thank you in advance. We are super grateful for each and every one of you guys who joins us here daily on the GSMC Sports Network. Your support makes all the difference. So let's go ahead and start. Let's get this conversation started. Let's get this party going. Send in those super chats, those super stickers, because you guys are super awesome. And together we will make sure this content, this podcast is bigger, better, and stronger than ever. Once again, if the super chat and all your thing, go ahead and hit up the GSMC podcast.net. Hit up the tips and donations link at the GSMC podcast.net. Tell me what you like, tell me what you don't like. Just remember to Superman punch that like a subscribe button to the show. Follow the show, follow the network here at the GSMC Sports Network. We do love a lot of peace, love, and positivity, 1010%. But in terms of talking sports, it's inevitable. Criticism, some disagreements are going to happen. But guess what, guys? It's all gravy. It's all water under the bridge. It's all gravy, baby. It's all good in the neighborhood. Just make sure you guys want to feel absolutely, definitely encouraged to speak. A lot of audience engagement. I don't want to be sitting up here yelling at the mic for like an hour straight. Definitely don't want to do that. So, make sure you guys, tune in and, speak your mind. All right, so let's go ahead and talk about some TNA Impact and Ring of Honor. We're going to start off with TNA Impact. So, overall, it was, after watching highlights, I thought it was overall, it was a decent one. The Knockouts World Champion, Masha Slamovich, defeated Alicia Edwards, no disqualification match for the TNA Knockouts World Championship. Obviously, this is kind of like, this is, Masha's way of, kind of ushering in her new era in terms of being a Knockouts champion. I feel like Jordynne Grace is going to take some time off of wrestling. I feel like her rematch at Turning Point. And this is what I would do if I was TNA, because, you had Jordynne Grace showing up on, TNA. You had her showing up on, WWE NXT, just representing that title so damn well. And, she deserves some time off, man. I got to be honest. She's been a workhorse for the company for quite some time. Maybe you find a way for Tasha Steelz and maybe Alicia Edwards to kind of find a way to injure Jordynne Grace, and maybe Masha Slamovich kind of takes that position as that, kind of takes that hero role where she, takes down Tasha Steelz and also Edwards, where they're, obviously the twosome, obviously the bad guys in terms of the, the stories and stuff like that. But, it should be interesting. I don't want to go out there and say that Jordynne Grace isn't going to make it to Turning Point. I feel like, if this story makes sense, and obviously a lot of people would like to see this match between Masha and Jordynne kind of run back, and I'd like to see it as well. But right now, Jordynne Grace was just so damn dominant as the TNA Knockouts World Champion. When she lost to Masha, I gotta be honest, the universe of professional wrestling were kind of like, I kind of raised the brow. I was like, you know what? I'm a little skeptical about that decision. Mostly because Jordynne Grace has been absolutely impressive. She's been carrying the TNA Women's Division on her back. And, now you kind of have her lose against Masha Slamovich. I get it. In the past, their first match, she had a chance. And then in the second match, she was able to kind of, prove dividends. And now we have we have Jordynne Grace with 1 game. And then we have Masha Slamovich with 1 game. So we have a 3-game series. We're going to have a tiebreaker at Turning Point. And, I don't know. Maybe it's my bias because I really like Jordynne Grace, and I don't really want to kind of put her in like a delicate situation or a situation where she kind of looks weak. Maybe, I don't know, just maybe. Maybe you can have Tasha, maybe you can have Alicia Edwards come in, and like I said, maybe they can find a way to kind of rub her out. Maybe they can find a way to injure her. And then maybe, Tasha Steelz, jumps up all of a sudden and be like, I'm taking her place and stuff like that. And it's like, okay, let's do it. So then Masha stays, she stays the babyface champion because right now that's what she is. That's what she is. And you had, Jordynne Grace, she was liked by the TNA universe. She was liked by wrestling fans. She was loved by WWE NXT, even the locker room. So the fact that Jordynne Grace is going to come back and not return as the face of TNA doesn't really make sense to me. That's maybe the reason why I'm kind of like, you know what? I feel like in a rematch, Jordynne Grace is going to defeat her. And it would be right for her to do so. But in the world of professional wrestling, it gets to the point where somebody, who's been holding the title for quite some time, all that juice is already spilled. You've kind of wringed that towel out for all the water that you could possibly have. And, maybe it's, and you want to take TNA into different storylines. You want to take it into different heights. Jordynne Grace as a champion, everybody kind of already knew how the matches were going to be. Jordynne Grace was absolutely unstoppable. Obviously everybody had doubts in their mind that anybody would defeat the Juggernaut. But it was just, I don't know, it was just too cliche. Sometimes you'd watch TNA Impact and you'd be like, oh, well, Jordynne Grace isn't going to lose. And then it turns out, guess what? She didn't lose. So the unpredictability factor in professional wrestling, and also just a chance to kind of have different women superstars, holding the title, kind of having a little bit of runs here and there. You're going to see that happening. And I feel like that's exactly what's going to happen, in terms of TNA for the future. So, all right, next we have on TNA, we have the Rascals. The Rascals and Kushida are excited for their upcoming 6-man tag team showdown with TNA World Tag Team Champion, the Hardys, and Ace Austin at Turning Point. Obviously, ABC, Chris Bay, he's out. Obviously, what happened with his neck injury, obviously, bidding him. His family, his friends, obviously giving him my condolences. You're going to come back bigger, better, and stronger than ever, ready to fight. Chris Bay, definitely rooting for you right here on the GSMC Sports Network. And, definitely can't wait to see what he does with the Hardys, because the Hardys, obviously, the Hardy Boys, jumping off of 10-foot ladders. Oh, my God, Jeff Hardy! Swanton bomb! Just kidding. No, but, these guys, it's going to be awesome. I can't wait to see it. I can't wait to see it. And I apologize for it seems like I'm wiping my boogers. I'm not. I just want to make sure it just doesn't look bad. And I'm sorry if my voice doesn't really seem like it's projecting well. Trying to get through this, guys. Definitely 1,010%. Next, we have Ash by Elegance with her personal concierge, and Heather by Elegance defeat the Knockouts World Tag Team Champions Jody Threat with Danny Luna. Is this the next TNA Knockouts World Tag Team Champions? Is this the next champions? Dana Brooke, Ash by Elegance. She's talented. She's very, very talented. When she fought Jordynne Grace at Slammiversary, it was good. It was a nice match. It seemed like she had a chance. She had a chance, and then it didn't happen. And then she was literally this close to beating Jordynne Grace for the Knockouts World Tag Team Championship. So maybe, just maybe, TNA creatives, you know what? We can't put the main title on Ash by Elegance right now, but we can put on the tag team titles. She gets a lot of attention. She often posts on social media. She could definitely be that women's tag team. You always have that number one contender, that women's division, number one person in the top tier in terms of competitiveness in that division, and then that's exactly Ash by Elegance. Then you have Heather. But I'm a huge fan of Spitfire. I gotta be honest. I'm a huge fan of Spitfire. I don't want to see them being dethroned anytime soon, but it might happen. And maybe that's why I'm like, you know what? Just gotta accept it. Might break my heart a little bit. Just a little bit, but, maybe it's the right storyline. Maybe it's the right way to go. Spitfire, the two-time, they've been, twice the TNA Knockouts, tag team champions, so maybe it is the right time for, to kind of have Heather by Elegance and Ash by Elegance to kind of come out and kind of showcase their skills as TNA Knockouts champions. Obviously, kind of reminds me of like a Jade and Bianca Belair kind of situation where these girls are top-tier talent. These girls are in the main event. These girls could be WWE Women's and World's Heavyweight Champion if they wanted to be. But right now, WWE kind of has them on the back burner right now and be like, you know what, we're going to put, at this time, we're going to have the secondary titles, which is the Women's Tag Team Championships, on them to kind of ultimately keep the eyes circulating around them, have the attention on them. Let's keep these lights, camera, action on this tag team, on these two amazing women's superstars. And in the future, we'll make them superstars. And maybe that's what Ash by Elegance, also Heather, are going to accomplish in TNA. And, I think it could work. It could work. Like I said before, like, I'm not a huge fan of Ash by Elegance. Like, she's cool and all, but I'm a huge fan of Spitfire. So, it should be pretty interesting. Frankie Kazarian defeats the legendary Rhino, the System, the X Division champion Moose, and JDC. They actually lose against Leon Slater and the Laredo Kid, which is pretty badass. We found out Joe Hendry's next goal is to become TNA World Champion, but first he vows to conquer the festive Turkey Bowl match at Turning Point. TNA World Champion Nick Nemeth sends a message to Eddie Edwards ahead of their TNA World title bout at Turning Point. Savannah Evans defeats Brittany Jade. And also, Trent Seven, Hammerstone, and Jake Something defeat the TNA World Tag Team Champions, the Hardys, Matt and Jeff, and Ace Austin. Which is, gotta be honest, it's kind of a bummer, but, it is what it is. All right, now we're going to get into some, new Ring of Honor. We're going to talk about some Ring of Honor talks right now. We had the New Japan Professional Wrestling Strong Openweight Champion Gabe Kidd defeat Angelico. We also saw the Shane Taylor Promotions Lee Majority and Shane Taylor defeat Beef and JD Drake. We also saw Kevin Knight defeat Serpentico. We saw Tomohiro Ishii build up momentum by defeating Mike Bennett of the Undisputed Kingdom, building up he has a match with Chris Jericho for the Ring of Honor World Heavyweight Championship. You got to keep your eye on. Ring of Honor Classic match. Mark Briscoe defeats Kazuchika Nakajima and Kensuke Sakazaki in Final Battle 2008, December 27, 2008 as well. Shingo Tagachi defeats Arya Davari tonight on. We had a Ruby Ground match. Ring of Honor World Champion Athena defeated Layla Gray. Obviously we can see that happening a mile away. Ring of Honor World Television Championship match. Brian Cage successfully defends his match against AR Fox. And from what I didn't watch highlights of that match, and it seemed like AR Fox, there was times where he was unmatched, because when you look at Brian Cage, this guy's just an absolute specimen that is professional wrestling. Like, it's crazy. But, he does well for himself. So, it was like a David versus Goliath. Well, not really David versus Goliath. Maybe I'm, kind of compensating on, maybe I'm compensating too much on Aaron Solo. But, there was some times where he looked like he could definitely, be... No, AR Fox, sorry. He could definitely look like he could be a champion in the future. So, can't wait to find out, what happens at AEW Full Gear. Obviously I can't wait to see what's going to happen, what's going to happen with the Don Callis family. what's going to happen with, I think Hechicero, Atlantis Jr., and Serpentico is going to be in the pre-show. I'm not too sure. Don't quote me on that. But overall, I feel like it's going to be badass. I can't wait to see what's going to happen next. All right. Sorry, guys. Once again, like I said, I'm sick. Got a sore throat. Running on fumes here. But it's all good. Just trying to get through this without messing up. We have Becky Lynch. Basically is going, is guaranteed to be featured back in WWE. She will return. We're going to talk about that when we come back. So, hey, grab your favorite snack. Grab your favorite ice cold beverage and join me here in about 20 seconds. So, hey, do not go absolutely anywhere.
Looking for your daily fix of sports talk without having to pay for it? GSMC Sports Network is available on YouTube. Just search GSMC Sports Network. Get your fix of daily sports talk shows on YouTube, absolutely free. NFL, college football, NBA, MLB, MMA, UFC, fantasy football, and so much more. GSMC Sports Network has shows running all day long, with new sports shows starting every 2 hours. Just like on your favorite cable sports channel, except GSMC Sports Network is absolutely free. Just search GSMC Sports Network on YouTube to catch one of your new favorite shows, like the GSMC College Football Podcast, Chip Shot Football Podcast, Hoops and Heels Women's Sports Podcast, GSMC Basketball Podcast, and so many more. Check it out for yourself. GSMC Sports Network, now available on YouTube absolutely free. Search GSMC Sports Network on YouTube right now.
All right, we are back with the GSMC Wrestling Laureate Podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. I'm your favorite wrestling fan here, Eric Rodriguez, every Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Pacific Time, 11 p.m. Eastern Time, like I said. Apologize for giving you guys this hoarse voice, but I am 1,010% sick. And if it feels like I have snot running all over my face, I deeply apologize. I hope it doesn't mess up my good looks. Just kidding. No, moving on. We talk about everything in terms of professional wrestling, all the action inside and outside the ring, backstage curtain calls. We also talk about superstar updates, rumors, and drama. We talk about promotions from WWE to AEW to Ring of Honor to New Japan Professional Wrestling. If it makes major news in the world of professional wrestling, we talk about it here on this show on the GSMC Wrestling Laureate Podcast, 8 p.m. Pacific Time, 11 p.m. Eastern Time on the GSMC Sports Network. So make sure you click that like and subscribe button to the show so you guys can get some notifications on whenever we go live. And just know that anything you guys put inside that chat box is going to be featured on this show. So why not have fun with it? Why not, look forward to this show as a way for you guys to feel like you could be the host of a podcast that's, brandished on, YouTube, also on our sports network and our podcasting network, also on, Spotify. I think it's Spotify, maybe. Amazon Music, iHeartRadio. We are live on all those. And it's always nice to kind of hear what you guys have to say. So make sure you guys, hit that up. All right, Becky Lynch will return to the WWE. We're going to talk about it now. And without further ado, Becky Lynch has been absent from WWE ever since after her WWE Queen of the Ring loss to Liv Morgan in her rematch on Monday Night Raw. Which, you had that steel cage match, and, you kind of knew things were going to kind of go sour. Becky Lynch's kind of contract was, it was kind of hanging up in the fray. A lot of people actually doubted that Becky Lynch would actually return to the WWE. And you've kind of seen it recently that a lot of stars that have not really gotten a lot of attention on WWE, decide to walk. Becky Lynch obviously is different. She's she's the face of the women's division on Raw, SmackDown, basically anything you guys decide to put inside the whole discourse that is of Becky Lynch. And I don't think she's going anywhere. She will never leave WWE. Right now, her life right now, I gotta be honest, it's probably too sick. You're getting paid millions of dollars. I feel like when WWE and Becky Lynch come to an agreement on their contract, it's going to be absolutely groundbreaking. It's going to be bigger than Mercedes Moné's. It's going to be bigger than any other women's superstar in the world of professional wrestling. It's going to be good for Becky. It's going to be good for Becky, good for her family, good for her image in terms of the world of professional wrestling. But I don't see why WWE doesn't sign Becky Lynch to a major deal, to an absolute major deal. On Raw, I gotta be honest, Rhea Ripley kind of returning. I felt like it was a little too soon, in my opinion, because the moment Rhea Ripley steps into the ring, it's just she's an absolute bombshell. She's she's a WWE World Women's heavyweight champion. She's the future of WWE, and I get it, and that's by all means that's what WWE should do. But when Becky comes back, for me, I feel like it's gonna be a little awkward. In the backstage, you're gonna have a little bit of awkwardness. Liv Morgan, not gifted the title, but I really kind of had my doubts. I feel like she's a better chaser than she is a champion. Where when she's chasing the championship, a lot of people can kind of root behind her and be like, "Oh, let's root for Liv Morgan. She's the underdog." And as the champion, WWE knew that she couldn't defend the championship. I'm sorry, and I'm not trying to sound mean. Like I said, I'm not a Liv Morgan hater. But WWE knew that you had to put her with Raquel Rodriguez as kind of like her backup, kind of like when you saw Kevin Owens with his run in the Universal Championship. You had him backed by Chris Jericho, because WWE didn't really have any faith that he can win a match straight up. And once again, that's not hating. That's not that's not really being like I don't know. But for Becky Lynch, she's going to be a future champion. Right now, she's kind of at this point in her career where she's kind of helping young talent go up. Obviously, she did spend some time in WWE NXT, where she helped like superstars like Lyra Valkyria, who got called up by the WWE in March or April, I'm not too sure, during the draft. She kind of gave her hope, and I don't feel like that's where Becky Lynch right now is in her career. Obviously, she has a lot left in the tank. And WWE right now wants her to overly, she wants to, they want her to express that. But if you're Becky Lynch, on the other hand as well, I know it's WWE and I know it's the biggest wrestling conglomerate in the entertainment industry, but at the same time, you're the freaking man. You're Becky Lynch. You're Becky Two Belts. You should hold out for a big contract. Because guess what? WWE isn't going to let you walk. I'm sorry, but they're not. If Becky Lynch finds herself in AEW, if Becky Lynch finds herself somewhere like the New Japan Professional Wrestling, Ring of Honor, I doubt she'll go to the to the NWA. This is big for them. This is big for them. It's kind of like you have that big fish out there, and if somebody else catches it, it could be really detrimental to your wrestling promotion. Like I said, I don't believe in this AEW, WWE, Wednesday night, Thursday night, Monday Night War like you had with WCW. Obviously, times are different during this new digital era where people can stream episodes on YouTube. They can stream things on the, X or Twitch or whatever, or Instagram. There's so many other options. That's the reason why I'm kind of like, I feel like any wrestling promotion going head-to-head with WWE is absolute nonsense. It's stupid. And, I'm not trying to, shoot it down. I'm not trying to, to crap on it any which way or form. But you can't compete with WWE. I'm not stupid. Tony Khan's looking at it. He's like, you know what? He even said it in an interview. He was like, you know what? I know I'll never be successful as WWE, but to keep the fans happy, sometimes in social media, because people, the Twitter trolls out there, they're going to eat that crap up. They're going to see it. They're going to be like, oh, Tony Khan said this. Oh, my God. And then it's going to get this discourse about this battle that was WCW against WWF/WWE. It's going to get it kind of reincarnated that people, like back then with WCW. I was a WCW fan. I loved WCW. And when they made it to WWE, WWF/WWE, Vince McMahon buried them. And it was awful. It was terrible. But right now, it's, it's not really a competition. But AEW recently signing stars like Ricochet, signing stars like Bobby Lashley. And imagine if you see Becky Lynch go on there. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, the women's division on AEW is stronger, and the fact that Becky Lynch isn't returning to Monday Night Raw or SmackDown, their division is absolutely shot, and it's terrible. And it's terrible, and it's just I don't know, it's just kind of crazy. According to PW Insider, WWE and Netflix have hinted at Becky Lynch returning on the Monday Night Raw premiere on Netflix. They suggest in a new deal between Becky Lynch and WWE. It's already been. People are suspecting that it's already been finalized or basically already done. WrestleVotes Joey Votes revealed that Lynch and WWE are in talks with major athletic apparel retailers. Maybe we could see a Nike Becky Lynch shoe. That'd be pretty badass. I thought Roman Reigns was going to come out with one. I got to be honest. I was kind of hoping for it. I would have bought it. That would have been dope. That would be cool as hell. And with Becky Lynch, the man, that'd be pretty badass. That'd be pretty cool. Imagine you're wearing a Nike shoe, playing pickup basketball at the gym, playing pickup basketball at the park, and then you have the Nikes. You have a nice little red swoop, and red swoop, and then you have on the corner of the shoe, the man. Oh, that'd be magical. That'd be badass. That'd be pretty cool. Names that were basically mentioned as well of getting athletic apparel shoes or, deals or anything like that. Bianca Belair, Cody Rhodes, Roman Reigns, and Stone Cold Steve Austin. During an appearance on Vulture Festival at NYA East in Los Angeles, Becky Lynch addressed her future, basically saying, and I quote, "If you think I'm going to go out with Dominic Mysterio slamming the cage door in my face, that's definitely not what's going to happen." So she's coming back to WWE, and like I said, it wasn't really, for me, ultimately, I feel like it was never really a question of her returning to WWE. It's if WWE could basically do right by Becky Lynch and paying her the money that she deserves, 1,010%. Fans obviously are hovering, eagerly awaiting Becky Lynch's comeback. The Irish little last kicker, says she has a lot going on right now in her life, and she's happy with what she's doing. A return might still actually, it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen, but at the same time, it might be in the future. We might be holding out longer than the Netflix premiere. We're not too sure what's gonna happen. And, with everything with her family, she seems like a family girl, 1,010%. Seemed like she's like, you know what? I'm going to, figure out what's going on with my fam bam. And if at the end of the day, I'm going to go out there and I'm going to, go out, I'm going to be the man. I'm going to be Becky Lynch. I'm going to kick some ass. I'm going to win titles, take names, take money. I need to know that I'm being compensated for all this. And if you're going to have apparel deals, damn. You're basically the Michael Jordan in the women's division. You're basically the LeBron James. The Patrick Mahomes. If Becky Lynch could get these, amazing retailers on her side signing contracts, there's no doubt in my mind WWE will make her the biggest. It's going to be the biggest money signing in professional wrestling history. Bigger than Mercedes Moné. And I think that's what she needs. That's what she wants. That's what she deserves. So overall, I feel like, Becky Lynch is in a good spot. She's coming back. The ball is definitely in her court, and she's gonna squeeze that lemon for all that juice. All right, guys, wait, do not go anywhere. We're going to talk about Shinsuke Nakamura returning to the WWE. Future storylines. We're going to talk about past storylines that never really worked for him, and ultimately, we're going to find out what's right for Shinsuke Nakamura. So, grab your favorite snack, grab your favorite ice cold beverage, and join me here in about 10, 15 seconds. So grab, hey, do not go anywhere.
For the best and latest podcasts available anywhere, go to the podcast app on your cell phone and type in GSMC to access free content-rich podcasts on health and wellness, book reviews, sports, entertainment, relationships, social media, movies, technology, finance, and even weird news. Subscribe and download the GSMC Podcast Network's family of shows, available everywhere podcasts are found.
we're back with the GSMC Wrestling Laureate Podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. I'm your favorite wrestling fan here, Eric Rodriguez, to talk about professional wrestling, all the action inside and outside the ring. Backstage curtain calls, we talk about rumor, updates and statuses and all the drama surrounding professional wrestling. We talk about promotions from WWE to AEW to TNA to Ring of Honor to New Japan Professional Wrestling. Basically, if it makes major news in the world of professional wrestling, we talk about it here on this show 1,010%. So, hey, do not be shy and drop your thoughts inside that chat. Make sure you guys talk about the show. Make sure that you guys feel like you feel absolutely open to have, your opinion stated in that chat box right there. And don't be shy to hit that $sign. All right, so we're going to talk about Shinsuke Nakamura returning to WWE last week, attacking the WWE United States Champion LA Knight. Right, I like that Nakamura came back. Coming back as a heel, not so entirely. He was a heel on SmackDown where he was created a heel. He lost against AJ Styles at WrestleMania. Then he hit him with that classic low blow. And then he changed up his entrance music, and then he was like, I'm changing up my entrance music so nobody feels like they can sing along. Because all the fans were like, like it was cool, And everybody was like, I love his theme song. I gotta be honest. I've been in the crowd a couple times where I got to witness Shinsuke Nakamura come out, and I was like, dude, it's badass. But if you're going to make him a heel, I don't know why. WWE, why are you making Shinsuke Nakamura inside a heel? He should come back. He should, he's loved by the wrestling fans. It's a new, different style of professional wrestling. Other than that, you're getting the same thing. And what have you had in this WWE United States Championship hunt? You had Andrade taking on Carmelo Hayes. 7 games. 7 matches. It's the same thing. And if you add a little LA Knight, and then LA Knight, he'll take on Carmelo Hayes, and then maybe he'll take on Andrade. Like, it's been the same thing on the WWE United States Championship. Something needs to change. Something needs to change 1,010%. I thought maybe Santos Escobar would be a nice little change of scenery, but ever since Shinsuke Nakamura came back last week, stating his claim, stating that he wants what the LA Knight has, which is that WWE United States Championship, and I feel like it's perfect. I feel like this is exactly what Shinsuke should do. This is exactly the way, WWE has recently had their, superstars. Like, they're not necessarily pandering to the crowd in a negative advance, kind of like where you see with Bronson Reed. He's just going out there and effing crap up, dude. He's going out there and he's being, I'm going to make a name for myself. I'm going to go out there. I'm going to attack whoever I want without giving a damn about who I affect, because at the end of the day, I want to be in the spotlight. I got bills to pay. I got family to feed. I got friends to take care of. I need to make money. I need the spotlight in terms of professional wrestling, and that's what Bronson Reed wants to do. Shinsuke Nakamura should definitely kind of have that same approach as well. You're not a bad guy. You could be a successful heel in WWE without stating the claim that you're a bad guy. You don't have to go out there and flip off the fans. You don't have to go out there and salt the city saying it smells like crap. You don't have to do all that. You don't have to. And that's what I fear that's what they're going to make Shinsuke Nakamura do, and I don't want to see that. I feel like a lot of fans from the WWE Universe definitely subside with me, definitely agree. You had this already before. You had Shinsuke Nakamura being a heel for probably 50% of his career in WWE, maybe even more. I feel like he needs a nice little run. Like I said, no babyface, no heel, none of that. Just basically based on competition, based on competitiveness, And ever since TKO and WWE have merged, that's exactly what they've been trying to do. When you look at the UFC fights, you have the champions who are confident, super, super duper confident. And at the end of the match, they touch gloves. They're like, you know what? At the end of the day, guys, this is just a business. We're going to go out there, we're going to beat the hell out of each other. But guess what? At the end of the day, you, me winning, we're going to get paid money. And, that's cool. But overall, the promotion, the UFC, WWE is going to get attention. And that's what you kind of go out there for. Which ultimately makes it seem like, like in the UFC, you don't have, you have wrestlers. You don't have fighters going out there and, talking crap to the fans, trying to be that heel. Like, at this point in wrestling, I guess you could say that your average, ordinary heel is dead. You're not going to have that anymore in professional wrestling. It was, for me, definitely, I feel like, sometimes you kind of have that overheel where you're like, you know what, it kind of seems like you kind of seem like they're overheel. Kind of like what you see what WWE Monday Night Raw is doing right now with the WWE World Heavyweight Champion Gunther. Right now, it's, people are rooting for Gunther. People like that he kind of has this, sensitive side. But if you make somebody a heel too much, it just looks nasty. It's not too much. It seems like they're, much like when WWE fans in the early 2020s, late 2010s, you had Roman Reigns forced down your throat as the babyface, and then now you kind of have that heel. Sometimes they want to force it down your throat. And you're like, you know what? I'm not, not really into it. Kind of like what you see with SmackDown. You have Kevin Owens. He hasn't necessarily, insulted the fans. He really feels like he was done wrong by Cody Rhodes and Randy Orton. Good storyline. It's all right. It's good. But, you're not going to have Kevin Owens flipping out the fans and stuff like that because the fans like Kevin Owens. So that kind of leaves it up. Be like, you know what? Oh, we can root for KO. Hey, we can root for Shinsuke Nakamura. Guess what? We can even root for Carmelo Hayes, Andrade, even the champion LA Knight. But if you kind of have this, to the point where you kind of are having this, this competitor that Shinsuke Nakamura is, and if you're going to, kind of sublet, kind of drown out everything he's done in WWE, all of his fascinating qualities, all of his accomplishments, also, that moxie that makes Shinsuke Nakamura. You can't silence that. You ultimately have to, you have to allow that. You have to, you have to echo that. You have to have everything that he has to a point where he could, he could go on a run. And he could possibly damn near beat the LA Knight. But obviously, right now, where the Shinsuke Nakamura comes within the WWE United States Championship division, I feel like it's right. I feel like it's the right place for him right now. I feel like WWE already dropped the ball with Shinsuke Nakamura 1,010%. Him turning heel and low blowing AJ Styles was so stupid. It was terrible. It was dumb. It was childish. It was nasty. At first I was like, okay, cool. But then that's something that WWE creative writers should not rely on. Should not ultimately back their credibility on. Be like, oh, I'm such a good writer. Guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to have Shinsuke Nakamura turn heel tonight against AJ Styles. And it happens. You get a positive reaction from the fans. The fans are like, yeah. And then 3 or 6 months down the line, people hate Shinsuke Nakamura. People don't want to watch Shinsuke Nakamura. And you get to the point where you're kind of, on your little PC, you're typing storylines, you're typing scripts, and you're like, oh, maybe it was, in the long run, bad. That shock factor, yeah, in professional wrestling, it's cool, and it could work if it's done right. But if it's done, really naive, it could be detrimental to the superstar. So right now, do I like that Shinsuke Nakamura came out last week on SmackDown to attack the LA Knight? Yeah. Because he's like, you know what? I'm going to come out and I'm going to prove myself as a contender. But I feel like WWE should ultimately embrace what TKO Holdings, what they do in UFC, where you have the fighters be fighters. You kind of have their personality showing out. Sometimes they can be confident, in their press conferences or in their promos, which could cause people to either like or hate them. But like I said, that traditional heel role in professional wrestling, I know it's a storyline. I know it's choreographed. I get it. It's, I'm not stupid. I get the kayfabe factor of it. But at this point, with this new day and age of social media, where people could post on their Twitter, where people could post on their Instagram, like heels like Chelsea Green, like heels Like, you know, like you can have people like post on social media and be like, I wasn't wrong and this and that and the other. And, you know, people know that wrestling is a show. Now more than ever. And I feel like now that just kind of makes it feel like, you know, sometimes you can't really have that, you know, you can't really have that traditional heel. Or that traditional babyface for that matter. But all I know is when Shinsuke Nakamura returned to WWE, I was happy. I was excited. I just don't want to see him burn down in flames thanks to WWE creative writing. I got to be honest. And, you know, that's really my hot take on that. All right, guys. So, hey, sorry, got to cut out a little early tonight. We are actually all out of time. It is 9:06. Usually we do 5 segments, but, you know, my voice is very, very hoarse, and I apologize. I feel like I'm barely getting through this podcast. So I'm going to, you know, definitely going to, you know, throw in the white towel. Hope you guys have an amazing weekend. Hope you guys had a great Friday. Hope you guys watched some AEW, you know, Full Gear this Saturday. Tune in on Thriller TV or buy it on Bleacher Report or on pay-per-view on YouTube.com as well. You guys can definitely, you know, tune into that. And tune in this Friday Night SmackDown. I'm going to go watch it right now. Can't wait to see it. But, yeah, thank you so much for tuning in to the GSMC Wrestling Laureate Podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. Subscribe to the show, like and follow, you know, on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, or X, or whatever you guys like to call it, X or Twitter. It doesn't really matter. If I have not made you a wrestling fan by now, make sure you guys check out a lot of the other podcasts we have on here. We have football. We have college football. We have all-around sports. We have, you know, the Dead Ball Football Podcast coming up in about 23 minutes. Make sure you guys tune into Emran's awesome podcast. He's definitely the hot takes king in terms of talking about professional sports. Sorry, excuse me. You know, better than Colin Cowherd, better than Nick Wright, better than Stephen A. Smith, better than who's that other white dude who follows the Cowboys? Skip Bayless. Like, he's better than all those guys. So make sure you guys tune into that. And once again, obviously, love you guys. Hope you guys have an amazing weekend. Hope you guys are gearing up. If you're traveling this weekend to Thanksgiving with your family, have a safe travel. You know, have fun with your family. Life is too short. Life is short. So make sure you guys, hold your close ones tighter this weekend. Definitely look across the dinner table. Look at everything you guys have to appreciate in this world. Look down at your plate. Have a nice, gorgeous meal. Just know that sometimes people don't have that option where they can look at, turkeys. Families in the United States, even all around the world, are struggling. Obviously, what's going down. Like I said, not trying to make this political. All around the world with the whole Ukraine thing, family members, they've passed away. Some children are orphaned. So just know that, sometimes you got to look around the room and be like, you know what? So what if I don't have the job I have right now? So what if I'm making dog crap? I have food in front of my face, family and loved ones surrounding me. Sometimes, as much as it might be hard, I gotta be honest, I'm kind of guilty of this as well. Sometimes it's hard to kind of take an outside look at perspective, take an outside of the box perspective and be like, you know what? Maybe it's all not that bad. It could be worse. It could be worse. So live in the moment. Live in the moment. Share some apple pie, hang out, eat some turkey, watch some NFL Thursday football on Prime Video. Make sure you guys tune in and just, have a good time. GSMC Sports Network out. Stay beautiful. Most importantly, love you.
Let's go. I wake up to a little bit of drool on my pillow, feel like it's gonna be a bad day. Yeah, I'm tired of shit, and the coffee ain't hit yet, damn, ain't that great. I don't wanna